Welcome to Respect Your Elders, Volume 5. This series is aimed at helping new players and PlayerUnknown improve their skills, reach the top 10 more often, and have the best chance possible to win rounds. This video is primarily going to focus on positioning with a little bit of gun mechanics in it as well. A very small bit of background on me. I am not a pro gamer. I'm old. I'm probably twice your age. Blah blah blah. Blah blah, game experience, blah blah, good win rating, blah blah, good top 10 ratio. And that's why I'm worth listening to. Or something. Anyhow, I've jumped out of the plane. I landed with no one around me and looted. Please watch the first couple videos in this series to get a better idea of how to loot correctly. For this video, I'm of course going to skip that. It's about the second zone in. I haven't seen or heard anyone. The zones look like they're moving closer to military base, so I have moved to the beach here. I'm not quite sure the zone is going to go there yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to either find a boat or swim. Despite my attempts at stealth, right here I hear footsteps running up to the house, and so someone's either spotted me or maybe he's just coming in this house to loot. So I take cover and I get ready to jump this guy as he comes up the stairs if he decides to do so. Which he does. Get lucky with a fortunate spray right there. Also surprising him helped. That is why when you come up to houses you should be crouch walking. Had that guy been crouch walking or muffling his steps, I might not have heard him and he might have killed me. Notice the positioning there. There was no way he could see me when he crested the top of the stairs to peek. That's very important. Most of this video is going to address positioning. Now I see that the zone is definitely going military base. I ran to the beach. Forgot to record a little right there, but I was able to make it to the beach and swim all the way across to Military Base Island. And I arrived here. Another thing you don't see is right as I got to this pillbox, I saw somebody run into a house that I'm staring at here, that little gray house through the window. So the zone is going closer to the mountains again here. I've decided what I'm going to do is wait for about 40 seconds to see if this guy in the gray house is going to leave before I do. I'm pretty sure he saw me. And that ends up being the case. I exit the house with about a minute left. I have a long way to go. I can't leave at the very end. I'll just end up fighting somebody at the edge of the zone and dying to the zone. Sure enough, here come the shots almost immediately, so you see him moving left and right a bit, trying to make myself a harder target to hit, and hauling as much butt as possible. As I'm running for my life, I'm looking at what position I want to be in. If you noticed, I've run up the edge of the zone before ducking in. This is so I hopefully run into people that are hiding on the edge of the zone and don't run in front of them so they just shoot me. I see a guy in the middle of the zone. I put a couple silenced AKM shots on him, but I keep moving. I have to keep moving. I'm choosing the ridge top here. This is the best position to be in right here. My camera in third person is above my head. So if I'm in a higher position than my enemy, I will see them before they see me coming up the hill. So even though I know this guy is just to my right, I'm going to stay on the ridgetop. I'm not going to duck down and try and find him and kill him. I'm staying on the ridgetop. I should be able to see him first. You see me looking left, looking right, looking for people coming up this hill, but still moving into zone. And right as I get very close to it, you see me slow down quite a bit. I don't want people to hear my footsteps. Right here, somebody from the hill on the right side starts trying to shoot me from the hilltop, which forces me to run, and then I run right into this guy that I had shot before. I win the fight here, and I'm able to get into the zone under fire, lay down, and get healed. You can see when I turn my camera there, no one can snipe me from any location. It was a good position to be on top of this ridge. If you notice here, I'm using my M16 on burst as a close range weapon, and my AKM as a long range weapon. Because of that, I have the only red dot scope I've found on the AKM, and I have the silencer on it as well. If somebody finds me in a close range fight, it's less important to be quiet. I'm creeping in here, I know there's a guy on the hilltop to my right because he shot at me, and I've fired, so people might know I'm up here, but you notice I'm taking it very slow, and I'm trying to keep as much foliage in between me and that right hilltop as possible. I'm trying to stay on the ridge here so I see people. When I decide to hide behind a tree, I move around a lot, so it makes it harder for snipers to instant headshot me, harder to get a bead. Maybe they'll miss the first shot and I'll survive. When the zone starts pushing me in, I'm going to go down a little bit on the right here. And that's because I want a little bit of cover from those apartment buildings. This is around the time I notice there's only 3 people left. I'm on this side of the zone. I know there was a guy on that ridgetop over there. So I'm assuming 1 guy on the right and 1 guy on the left. I don't think there's anybody right behind me. Sometimes you have to make positioning assumptions based on your guesses, because if you go running around looking for everybody at the end of a game, you're just going to reveal yourself too much and get shot. You've noticed I don't have the best gear. I've got a red dot sight, an AKM, a silencer, and an M16. That's, no 2x scope, no 4x scope. But you can use these things to your advantage. Get used to the weapons and try and figure out where they shine and where they don't. One of the places an M16 really shines is not point blank, but just beyond that range. That burst fire is a mess. The AK at close range on auto, it's got a lot of recoil. Not so great at ultra close range. So as I'm assessing the situation here and looking at my positioning, I'm going to try and stay close to these trees here before I'm forced to run up the hill on the right. And it's about this time I start thinking about what engagement is about to occur. And I think to myself, it's probably going to be a close range engagement. It's the end of the round. I'm going to put my red dot sight on my M16 so I can aim down the sights when it comes time to fight. And right as the zone comes in, I make that decision. I swap it out. I leave the compensator on it so it'll control the barrel recoil, and I move in. Right here, this guy moves out of this bush, so I'm forced to fire off the iron sights with the silenced AKM because it's a little longer range. I get the kill. I noticed he was looking to his right, so now I really think there's a guy right up here on the hill. There's almost no way that guy was looking at nothing with his rifle scoped in. Sure enough, there he is, and now it's just a gun battle between me and this guy, and that M16 on burst fire with a red dot and a compensator is fantastic. If you notice right at the end there, I started running right up the hill, trying to keep as much of the hill between myself and my enemy as possible before I knew right where he was. It's fortunate he missed his first shot, and it also helps to do that little, when you're in the gun battle, don't just stand still, just dance around a little bit. You saw me pushing right and left there to try and throw his aim off a little bit. Helps secure wins in gunfights. Don't be a stationary target, like the guy on the left. This round's a really great example of you don't need an AWM with an 8x scope. You don't need your favorite weapon. What you need is to have good positioning, use the weapons you can find very well, and make the best out of what you get. There's a lot of luck in this game. There's a lot of randomness. Try and use that to your advantage. Thanks for watching. The next couple videos are going to be quite different. I'm going to be going through my setup for the frame rate that I'm able to get, and a bunch of fundamentals